All right, what's up, guys? So we're back with a fun one. It's pretty stupid, but a lot of new. I realized because I've been doing a little bit of Guilty Gear commentary, so I've been calling out a couple bursts, some legacy, what is it? The glossary term that you guys might not be familiar with. So I said, you know what? Let's just share it with some of the new generation. Let me teach you all the bad bursts, all the different kind of bad bursts you can do in Guilty Gear. All right, the first one here. So the first one, let me share this with you. This is like the originator of bad burst. So this is called the Domi burst. This is named after a player named Domi, who is notorious for his bad burst. There's another way you might also hear the word dirty fireworks or Kitanai Hanabi. That's like old Vegeta thing, but this is what it means. Ready? I'll show you why it's called that. So it's when you burst like this. Like that. So when you burst and you're up at the top of the screen, the higher you are, the better, right? The higher you are, the better. That's a Domi burst, right? So it's like dirty fireworks is what they call that, you know? It's like fireworks in the air, in the sky, not even close. Let's do it one more time. Like that, right? So very, very high up. The higher, the better. There was an old meme back in the way, too, that I used to call it Canadian burst, because I used to watch Canadian BlazBlue players where they would do like from up here and mess it up. Speaking of that, let me show you something real quick. Look at this. This is an old shit post I made. It's a little animated guide. I made this in like 2011. This is like 10 years ago. But yeah, it's a Canadian burst here. All right, next one. Let me show you this one. So I claim this, you know. I think this is a common term now, but I claim this. I claim California burst. I used to call it West Coast burst and then the Cali burst because, you know, I'm from East Coast. You just make fun of these dudes. But this is California burst. This is one you see a lot. Ready? It's a burst that connects, but you need to look at the health. Look at the health up there, right? So player 1 is from California. He's Seijan's neighbor or something. He's at 10% health, and he's fighting the Ramathal god, aka me. I'm at full health. You know, I'm dominating here. It's not even the last round. You know, it's not even the last round. He gets hit, and he's like, no, I burst. I got a chance, right? So that's so stupid. You see it a lot. You'll see it a lot. It's really, really, really stupid. So why is it bad if you're a new player? Basically, you're not going to win, right? You already lost this round. The difference in life is way too big right now, or maybe you have no meter. So what you should do is just give up. Give up that round, keep your burst, and focus on the next round. But the players in California, right, they can't. They're mashing burst, though, even though they got a gold burst, right? But you still see us a lot. You still see us a lot. So if you ever hear someone say Cali burst, wow, this dude's from California. That's what it means. And watch. He's going to lose, right? At the end, he's going to lose. It very rarely works out. It very rarely works out like that. All right, next up, let's see. The Rage Burst. Fucking bullshit down there. So this one is very, very hard, but it's something that you'll probably experience. So Rage Burst happens a lot. Something like this. Ready? You know, you need a little bit of a backstory. You need a little bit of a backstory before that. You need to see how the match is going. But sometimes people are going to burst when they don't even get hit. When they're just tight. When these guys are just get the hell off me, right? So the Rage Burst, there's a lot of different ways to do it. It's when you are either blocking and they're angry and they're bursting like that, or something like this, right? You get hit once, right? You're dashing in. You get hit once. It's not even supposed to be a time in the burst, but you do not want to block. You do not want to block. You do not want to be on defense. Like, you are seeing red right now. You just want to burst and take your turn. That shit is mad fun, too. You can't really demonstrate it, but when you're playing, you're going to be able to tell. And it's a good sign, too. You shouldn't Rage Burst. Everyone's done. I Rage Burst. Other people Rage Burst, too. But the good tell for you, why it's important to know, is that if someone does Rage Burst on you, you know that they're pissed off. You know that they're angry right now. And that's good. That means that they're not going to block anymore. You know, they're going to be matching DP. They already used their burst. So that should be a tell. If you see a Rage Burst, be like, all right, this guy is pissed. He's not going to block anymore. Let me just finish him off. Now, on the opposite of that, so there's the Rage Burst. Now, there's another one. I guess you can call it like a Pride Burst. So pretend this is the last round. Pretend this is the last round. So what was that? Perfect. What was that? Well, that's the Pride Burst. So what does that mean? Is one of the most disrespectful things you can do. One of the biggest ways to style on somebody in an anime game is to take their burst, right? So you know what it means to take the burst is to block their burst, right? To make the hard read, block their burst either with an RC or like a bait or something like that. That's kind of like, man, I destroyed you, man. I hurt your pride. I owned you. So some players, they'd rather lose. They would rather lose the game than let their burst get taken. So you see this a lot too. It's always mad funny. It's the best when it happens in tournament too, right? Well, you see a guy just like, nah, I'm not even gonna give you the chance to take my burst. Just take it. I don't want to do it anymore. We call that the pride burst. This is when there's no actual burst, right? There's no actual burst at all. But that's kind of the opposite of the rage burst, because that guy's really, even though he's still tight, even though he's still furious, he's able to control his anger enough to be like, just take it. Just take it. I'm not doing it. You can't bait it if I never burst right there. All right, so this is now here's another burst. This one's actually not a bad burst. This is a really good burst, and this is something you should learn. But next time you hear somebody say offensive burst, this is the idea. So look at it. I'm on this side. Ready? It's doing this. So that's an offensive burst. This is a really like good technique you should learn, where it's not even about taking damage. It's not even about bursting to prevent the damage. It's about bursting to keep your position. And sometimes even if you're like lower, it's probably still a good idea. This is around that Cali burst area. Remember I mentioned earlier Cali burst when you burst low on health, but the thing is in this situation, you're in a really good position so that even though you might be behind on life, the position is so good that it might be worth bursting just to kind of maintain it and maybe try and close out the round. That's actually a pretty good offensive burst. Is pretty good. All right, this is one more. This is one more that you should probably learn. You know, if you're a new player, this happens a lot, where the second you feel danger, you start mashing. But like this. This is the insta burst. Ready? So look at it. His DP whiffed. He's about to take a lot of damage. Right? He's about to get murdered right now. I know it. You know it. Immediate. Right? This. You know he was mashing. He was not waiting. So this is like the panic. I guess you want to call it like a panic burst. I don't know if it has a name. Panic burst, instant burst. It's kind of funny. And the thing is, this is, as you see, it's mad easy to bait. A little advice for all you new players. I know you're freaking out. I know you're mashing right away. If you know that you're going to burst and you know that they know, you want to kind of delay it a little bit, right? You want to kind of delay your timing right here. Right? So that's an easy punish right there. If he had delayed it, if he delays this and I try and do that, right? I would walk forward and I would get hit by the burst right there. So just keep that in mind. It's not just a DP bait situation, but a lot of times, you know? A lot of times if you get like a jump in attack or something, just don't mash on burst too fast. But that's about it. There's a lot more. There's a lot more specific situations. I don't want to break it all down. That's something that's really fun about this game though, and you know, a lot of new players too, or even OG players, they still do a lot of bad bursts, but there's a lot of mind games, there's a lot of meta that goes on in the whole burst system that if you are still new, you might not be too comfortable with, but the more you play it, I'm sure the more you'll get comfortable, the more you'll get used to it, and you start recognizing like what's a good burst, what's a bad burst. But now at least if you watch this video, you'll understand when we start making fun of people, when we start laughing at them for doing Cali bursts and stuff like that, and Domi bursts, Keith and I Hanabi and all that stuff, you'll know what we're talking about. Just hopefully you don't do it. But anyway, like always, if you're still watching, thank you. If there's any other big burst I missed or your favorite kind, write it down in the comments. Let me know. Maybe we'll make another video about it. But like always, I'll see you next one. Peace.